In September of 1666, a tiny spark in a London bakery unleashed one of the most destructive disasters in the city's history. For 4 long days, flames roared through London, reducing thousands of homes, businesses, and churches to ashes. This is the story of the Great Fire of London, the night the city went up in flames. To understand the devastation, we must first understand London in 1666. The city was crowded, with nearly 500,000 people packed into narrow streets. Most homes were built of timber, topped with thatched roofs, and stacked side by side like kindling waiting to ignite. Open flames from candles and fireplaces burned in nearly every house. It was a city alive with trade, but also a city dangerously unprepared for fire. In the early hours of Sunday, September 2nd, Thomas Farriner, a baker on Pudding Lane, failed to properly extinguish his oven. At around 1 in the morning, flames broke out in his shop. Within minutes, sparks leapt to neighboring houses. The summer had been hot and dry. A strong wind carried the fire through the wooden structures like a torch in dry grass. By dawn, much of the street was ablaze. The fire quickly grew beyond control. Firefighting methods at the time were primitive: buckets of water, hand pumps, and fire hooks to pull down buildings. But the wind was relentless, driving the flames deeper into the heart of the city. People tried to flee with whatever belongings they could carry: furniture, pets, even beds dragged through the chaotic streets. Eyewitnesses described a storm of sparks raining down like fiery snow. Within 24 hours, the fire had spread across nearly half of the medieval city. Panic swept through London. The poor fled on foot, while the wealthy hired boats to escape across the River Thames. Families were separated in the chaos. Priceless possessions were abandoned or consumed by the flames. Some tried to bury valuables in their gardens, only to return to smoldering ruins. The air was filled with smoke so thick it turned day into night, choking anyone who dared to remain. As the inferno raged, some of London's most famous landmarks fell. St. Paul's Cathedral, a towering symbol of the city, was engulfed in fire. The heat grew so intense that stones cracked and molten lead poured down the streets like rivers of fire. Warehouses filled with oil, tallow, and alcohol exploded into the night, fueling the blaze further. By the 3rd day, entire neighborhoods were reduced to nothing but ash and rubble. The authorities knew drastic measures were needed. Fire breaks, gaps created by tearing down buildings, were the only hope. At first, Lord Mayor Thomas Bloodworth hesitated, fearing the anger of property owners, but King Charles II himself ordered the demolitions. Soldiers and citizens together pulled down houses, desperately trying to halt the fire's advance. Slowly, the combined efforts began to take effect. After 4 days of destruction, the Great Fire finally died down on Wednesday, September 5th. The winds calmed, and the fire breaks worked. What remained was a smoldering wasteland. More than 13,000 homes, 87 churches, and countless businesses had been destroyed. Astonishingly, official reports claimed fewer than 10 people died, though in reality, the true death toll was likely much higher, hidden in the ashes of the city. London was devastated. Tens of thousands were left homeless. Many camped in the fields outside the city, surviving on charity and what little food they could find. Yet, out of the ashes came opportunity. King Charles II ordered London to be rebuilt with safer designs, wider streets, brick and stone instead of timber, and new building regulations. The fire also marked the birth of modern insurance, as companies emerged to protect people from future disasters. The Great Fire of London reshaped the city forever. It cleared the way for a new London to rise, grander and more modern. It also taught painful lessons about safety, responsibility, and resilience. The blaze became a symbol of destruction but also of rebirth. From a single spark in a bakery to a firestorm that consumed a city, the Great Fire of London remains one of history's most powerful reminders of how quickly life can change. Out of the ashes, London rose again, stronger, wiser, and determined never to forget the fire of 1666.